internet's ready to explode, but it's on that really left edge of mass market applicability. And let's look at that. It's interoperable across most carrier networks. There are standards that have emerged. It is diffused on most handsets. But when it comes to adoption, the feature adoption issue, only about 19%, for instance, in the United States, of consumers have actually adopted the use of the mobile web or the mobile internet on the phone. It has a healthy ecosystem path, and it's geographically applicable. So the mobile internet path plays very, very well in the mass market channel, because all of the other elements that are keys to the mass market applicability, most of the other ones are out of the marketer's control. The one that's in the marketer's control is adoption, and adoption will be stimulated through value that you deliver. And just look at the iPhone as an example of that. When you get all of these key elements together and you start delivering value, 85% or more of iPhone users surf the mobile internet on a regular basis. So when you get all of the key elements together, the iPhone, for example, as a capability, has shown and proven that the mobile internet can be a mass market channel. And so that's why we align that there. But then if you want to look at the keys to, you'll see a line in this idea of niche to mass market applicability. All of the other paths within the mobile phone do not necessarily meet the mass market criteria, such as MMS, the internet as a standard, Bluetooth, applications, email. None of these channels meet all of these keys to mass market applicability. And so in which case, we need to understand and recognize that. And I'm not saying don't use them, but what I'm saying is set your expectations of consumer response and acceptance appropriately. For the other mass market channels, voice, SMS, and the mobile internet, people can and will use them if the value you are delivering meets their needs. For the other channels, there are blockers, such as Bluetooth. Not every handset is capable of doing it. Not every carrier allows it. Applications. Not every handset is capable of downloading an application or maintaining a connection to stay updated. There are a lot of technical challenges that are out of both yours as a marketer and the consumer's control. So it doesn't mean don't do it. It just means that not every consumer is, one, going to be interested in doing it or capable of doing it. And so those mass market applicability issues are critically important to be thinking about. And so when you're thinking of launching and running mobile initiatives through the mobile channel, this is a really great map to take a look at and understand and think about which of the path am I going to use for my marketing campaign. This next picture we're showing you here too just gives you a basic flow. So if you're going to be doing, for instance, a text messaging program, this will show you how the pathways work. You'll put a call to action in traditional media. Someone will pull out their phone and respond to that call to action. Let's say it's text WIN to 12345. That's what's referred to as a mobile originated message. And if you think back to the mobile marketing ecosystem diagram that we showed, what's going to happen is that message will go from the mobile subscribers. They've seen your traditional media. They respond to the call to action in traditional media. It's going to go from the mobile subscriber's handset to the mobile carrier, from the mobile carrier to a connection aggregator or messaging aggregator, from them to the mobile marketing application provider, who will process the interaction with the consumer. The mobile marketing application will then originate a message, send that back to the connection aggregator, to the mobile operator, and then back to the consumer. That's the end-to-end flow, for example, of how a text message routes through a mobile carrier's network. And again, the way we stimulate all of that interaction is we mobile enhance our traditional media first. That is critically important. So let's think about now, how do we generate that? We've been talking about call to actions. We've been talking about opt-ins. How do we generate those call to actions, and what kind of call to actions can we do? As I showed in the previous slide, we can use mobile originated call to actions. That's putting the keyword and the short code into the traditional media. We can also use web triggers. We can have forms on websites that say, enter your phone number here now and hit submit. We can use forms on mobile websites as well, which would be called mobile web triggers, where you're basically instructing the consumer to fill out a form on the mobile web and hit submit. These are other elements of call to actions. You can use the call to action of dial a number. Dial 1-800-X, 12345, etc. And then when someone dials that number, they'll hear a number of audio prompts. Press 1 to receive text messages. Press 2 to have a mobile internet site sent to your phone. Press 3 to be connected to a customer care. So call to action of the traditional 800 number or toll number is a very viable and applicable way. Another pathway for opt-in to any of your traditional media channels would be using the camera phone. It's what's called image recognition. For example, one of the leading players of image recognition, a company called Snaptel, in the July 2008 issue of the Men's Health magazine, they picture recognition enabled every ad in that issue of the magazine. So essentially, you could take a picture of the ad, send that picture in. Their system would do dynamic recognition of the picture, and then based on that, that recognition would trigger some action. Push out a text message, push out a mobile internet site, trigger an IVR call. That would be another pathway for opt-in or interactivity. Finally, you could then have, or not almost finally, you could have installable applications where someone could download an application on their phone, such as an iPhone, and they could interact with that application. And because that application is connected up to the internet through the internet-enabled handset, it can initiate an opt-in and interactivity with the audience. Again, it can trigger any of the different paths. It can trigger SMS, MMS, initiate a call, push a mobile internet site, etc. There's a key thing to think about with all of these opt-in methodologies and all the mobile paths is that they all interact and interoperate with each other as well. And then finally, there are two emerging opt-in methodologies that are coming onto the market, namely what we'll call the star-star method and the pound method. Star-star was initiated from a company called Teleractive, which essentially says rather than using the text messaging channel, you say star-star AOL, for example, and that will be triggered, and then so star-star AOL talk as opposed to send, and that would trigger off the voice channel of the phone to initiate the opt-in. And another company called Single Touch, which has used pound, and the pound method is very similar to that, the star-star method. Pound, some keywords like AOL again, and then talk, and then that would initiate a connection. These are all examples of all the various opt-in methodologies that you can use to trigger off interactivity via your traditional new media and or even the mobile channel itself. So which one of the traditional media channels is the most effective? Well, history has shown us that it's primarily TV. About 37% of all short code or text messaging interactions have been initiated through the TV. And then as you can see through this chart as well, each one of the other pathways, print media, mobile internet, have tended to be very effective. I think what's really important, if you go back to 2007, today in 2008, roughly 37% of the channel text messaging initiatives have been generated from TV, whereas in 2007 that number was 51.9%. That has no reflection, in my opinion, on the consumers, but rather it has a reflection on the marketers. We were primarily only using the television channel, and so therefore that's what consumers were responding to. As we see marketers launch more mobile-enhanced print matter, mobile-enhanced retail, mobile-enhanced television, mobile-enhanced mobile internet and email, and we're mobile-enhancing the other channels, we're now starting to see consumers respond to those as well. So if history has shown us, we're going to see that all of our marketing channels can be very, very effective when we engage and interact with people through the mobile channel. So the basic call flow of a traditional media program, as we've discussed, is someone sees the call to action in traditional media, they type in the keyword, they hit send. The mobile marketing application will process that request, for instance, if they're buying a ringtone or if you're casting a vote, and it will send back a message. Please confirm your opt-in for the charge of 99 cents to cast your vote. The consumer will respond in an affirmative, such as yes, and then that gets sent back to the mobile marketing application and the consumer processes the vote. That's how it works. Another example of a call to action would be the print matter. So take a picture of the ad in the magazine, that gets sent up into the network processes that image, and then sends a picture back, for instance, as a potential call to response within the application. Now, a key piece of mobile marketing is not just the opt-in and how to capture the opt-in from the consumer, but also the pathway of how to give the consumer an opt-out. And the Mobile Marketing Association and the carriers within the United States, for example, have set the guidelines of reserved keywords for managing opt-out. So stop, end, quit, cancel, for example, are all reserved keywords for capturing an opt-out from a consumer via text messaging. So while you have to get explicit consent from a consumer for them to interact with you through the mobile channel, you would equally have to be able to give them a clear path to opt out. So at any point in time, the consumer needs to be able to send stop, end, quit, cancel, etc. to your shortcode, and or stop, end, quit, cancel, and the keyword for a specific program to your shortcode so that they can opt out.